Welcome back to my channel, everyone. It is your hostess, Queen Karizma, and I'm back with another video exposing a religious cult that I was once a part of called Israel United in Christ, or IUIC. Now, if you're new to my channel, I encourage you to check out my other videos to get the background of my story. Check out the interviews that I've done with other IUIC former members, and check out the interview that I did with another person from a different Black Hebrew Israelite organization. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and go over some changes that have happened since I left IUIC. I left IUIC around 2018, and I was in their organization for 2 years. I was a very active member of their organization. I helped them grow their organization. I helped them look after the members in the organization at the camp that I was at. Now, again, if you're new to Black Hebrew Israelite, I guess propaganda, agenda, religion, whatever, then some of the words that I say will not make sense. In Christianity, they call members congregating a church. In Black Hebrew Israelite groups, they call it a camp or a school. All right. So they have different camps all over at this point, and they are popping up internationally. I want to review some changes that have happened since I left the group, and I have put together a presentation for y'all. So let me bring that up really quick. Let me also make sure I have all of my chat rules here, because if you come in here acting crazy, if you come in here spamming my comment section, you will be immediately blocked. You will be immediately blocked. Any comments left by Black Hebrew Israelites associated with IUIC or not associated with IUIC, members or non-members, you will be blocked. Okay. Now, if you have any questions for me, my email is charismaspeakstruth@gmail.com. If you want to tell your story, you can email me there. If you have any questions, you can email me there. If you have any updates on IUIC, that's also where you can email me. All right. So typically when I'm doing a video or presenting, I want to focus on that video. So many questions pertaining to IUIC, unless I have it open for people to ask questions, I don't answer it while I'm presenting. So that's why it's important to go ahead and email me at the email that I gave you, so that you can get my undivided attention that way. All right, so let me go ahead and bring up the presentation here. All right, so when you first join IUIC, if you join them, they will have what's called a welcome home booklet. All right, a welcome home booklet. Because when you first are introduced to them, you don't know what they believe in. You don't know what scriptures they use. You don't know a lot of things, but all you see is women with head wraps, women in dresses. All you see are these outrageous looking garments, outrageous looking costumes that the men wear. All you see is the men screaming in the streets, holding lectures in the middle of the streets, debating with Christians, debating with other Black Hebrew Israelite groups, and trying to recruit new members by having 100-man marches and having pretty much these public displays of extremism where they want to get people's attention, and that is a recruiting mechanism. So they will usually give new members this booklet. Now it used to look like how it did on the left. The left side is the older version, the right side is the newer version. So I'm going to basically compare and contrast and give my opinion on the booklet. I already went over the laws for the women that they have in this booklet, so I'm not going to go over that. This is just a general overview of the changes that were made from this booklet to the new booklet. All right. So let's get right into it then. So let me make the screen a little bigger for y'all. Now, in the new booklet, a lot of changes happen. We have a purple and pinkish border. We have new fonts. We have new sizes of these different fonts. There's a new layout. There's a new format. Design elements were added. So basically, they're making it more fancy. They're making this booklet more fancy. And so I guess this is a way to attract people or a way to look pleasing. I'm not sure. But I guess this is the upgraded version. The editor who was listed on the previous booklet was removed, and it's just their founder, Nathaniel, who's listed on the front. The logo, the IUIC logo is smaller, and the leader's name, like I said, Nathaniel, is added on the bottom. The logos will be crossed out in this video. Names will be crossed out and faces will be crossed out because they love to basically exploit other people and their privacy. But then when you do it back to them, suddenly they're mass reporting your videos and crying victim. So that's why everything will be covered strategically so that they cannot file copyright reports. This is fair use commentary, and they cannot file privacy reports. All right. So that's pretty much why I have those covered. Now, in the new book, we now see photos of IUIC's bishops and their deacons. In the old book, that's not there. You just have the names of who their leadership is in New York, which they call the IUIC Headquarters. All right. So basically, the headquarters is where the videos, IUIC videos from like the IUIC classroom and all this stuff, that's where the videos get recorded. This is where all the other camps tune in on the Sabbath day. So they basically turn on their TVs. If they're not in New York, if they are anywhere else, what they will do is they will go to IUIC website, and usually they're streaming this live. So they'll go ahead and click in on this live class, and sometimes it's password protected and only the leaders can access it. And so they will do it that way so that I guess so other people outside of the group won't be able to, I guess, leave comments or hear some of the things in the class. So they will, again, live stream it, but sometimes they will end the live stream and then they'll say more stuff via their website during that live stream, which is only for IUIC people. And those are password protected usually in order to enter those online classes, Sabbath classes. All right. So this is their leadership now. Yawasop, which is who used to be a deacon when I was there, he has been promoted to a bishop. Now, the way that IUIC promote is basically if they feel you are so-called putting in the work, which means street preaching, going to these classes, Sabbath classes, teaching online classes, doing whatever you could to promote IUIC in a positive way, promote the organization, create memes, and spread it on social media. Basically, um, digital marketing, physical documents, giving the people, kind of like Jehovah's Witness or some other religions that go to door. IUIC does that too. They will print out booklets, 12 tribe charts, and they will go door to door. And they will also give physical booklets out to people when they're on the street preaching. So that's their method of recruitment. And if they feel that you have been submissive to the leadership and do everything that the leadership tell you to do without asking questions, enduring, like they love to use that word, enduring abusive practices, verbal abuse, in a lot of cases, physical abuse, financial exploitation, then without crying about it, without having an opinion about it, and without questioning it, then you usually are promoted. And this only is for males only. They don't believe in women being any type of leaders. They actually are misogynists. They do not like women. You can tell by the way they speak to women. They use women as vehicles to create babies and to cook, clean, and be a sex slave for them. So that's pretty much the woman's job, to serve the food, to listen to the men, even if it's not their husband, to listen to orders. That's a lot. You will hear that a lot, following orders from the leadership. And they expect you not to ask questions again. So this is the leadership. Isan is the guy you see where I have the red arrow. Idan right here, he was actually replaced by this Hispanic leadership, male leader named Yeshua. When I was in the camp, Yeshua was only an officer. So now I guess he was promoted to a deacon and he replaced Isan. Isan allegedly committed adultery against his wife. A lot of these men, I would say most of them, especially in leadership positions, they call themselves counseling women, counseling young women, counseling virgins, and they end up sleeping with them and having them as a mistress on the side while they pretend to be holy men of God and prophets. So that is not anything surprising in these Black Hebrew Israelite camps. It's not surprising in Christian organizations. It's not surprising in any religious organization where they try to present themselves as holy and they're doing what people in the so-called world are doing, which is cheating on their wives, having mistresses and sleeping with young women and preying on these women and trying to act like they're some spiritual father teaching these women what to do and how to read the Bible, how to study, how to dress, how to be a woman of God. And they really sleeping with them and seducing them. So that's exactly, allegedly, what happened with Isan. He committed adultery against his wife. And so they replaced Isan with this Hispanic man right here, Yeshua, who was one of the only Hispanic men there, even though he was there when Nathaniel called other Hispanic members derogatory terms, including the WET terms, the wet term, the wet, BACKS. Yeah, he's still there. Because again, a lot of these people are there to fit in. They don't care about the moral code. There's no moral code. There's no moral structure. They do what they want to do. So, yeah. So, anyways, he was so-called promoted. They would do these promotions typically at feast days. Sometimes they do it on the Sabbath, which is Saturday. That's when they have their classes Saturday. Or they will do it on a so-called feast day, which are dates and times that they think the Bible is referencing, and they really don't know the actual dates, but they kind of do the Passover around April-ish. They do other feasts around the moon, and they worship the moon as well and use the moon to tell them what feast day it is. Okay, so that's what happened. And so Ithon was then, he was demoted and had to sit with what they call the other brothers, who are not like don't have any title, which are usually new members. He had to sit with them and was demoted for a time that I don't know what time frame it was. And then he was reinstated as a deacon during their Passover this year, 2024, in April. And there was a video that they did reinstating him. So a lot of the time, like I said in my other videos, the leadership of IUIC get away with a lot of things. If you were a regular member, he would have got kicked out. But they show a lot of lenience towards the so-called leadership of IUIC, so they could sleep with whoever, commit adultery, do all type of stuff, steal from members, and then you see that they back reinstated into this supposedly holy position, this holy title of a deacon or a bishop. So it's kind of laughable. They're a bunch of hypocrites. They're a bunch of hypocrites. They have the most to say about former members and about people in the world, but then they go and do double what people in the so-called world do, and then pretend to be back holy, and pretend to be righteous, and pretend to be better than people and better than other Hebrew Israelite groups. So Ithon is typically referred to as the brain. He has a lot of books on the history of America. So in a lot of these instances, when they're not talking about the Bible, they're talking about the history. Now, the history you can easily look up. Anybody could do a Google search on who America was named after, slavery, the slave trade, the Spanish conquistadors, and all this stuff. They mix the actual history of America with their interpretation of Bible scriptures, and they mix that together as if they're trying to say the Bible prophesied this. So it's very confusing, but that's what they do. All right. Now, throughout the booklet, there are changes. There are many changes throughout the booklet. And let me just do some real quick. Give me a quick second. So they have new photos. New photos are added. Other photos have been removed. These photos are of slavery. These photos are of colonization propaganda. So they use these photos to evoke emotion. Typically, the emotion is anger or sadness, and they want to justify their hatred towards white people specifically, but they also display anti-Semitic and Asian hate as well. They make fun of Chinese people. They make fun of Asian people. Anyone who's not on the 12 tribes chart, they basically make you hate them. And this is their justification for hatred and for separatism in the group. So they have all these photos evoking some type of negative emotion. Trauma bonding with minorities is typically what's going on. They target low income and low social economic status minorities. They target uneducated and ignorant minorities, people who didn't finish high school, people who may have finished high school, former military veterans. They target those type of people. Anyone who feel that they are a victim. They really perpetuate the victim mentality. They raise bait all the time. And in my opinion, their goal is to justify their reason for hating a particular race or religion out loud. That's their way of doing it, doing the quiet part out loud. And they use the Bible to basically make it seem as though what they're doing is right. And it's not. But that's what they do. So that's why a lot of people, their minds are all messed up because all this confusion is going on. And they're thinking that they got into the group for the sole purpose of learning the Bible. And really, all this other stuff start to come out. So it's first like it's curiosity. Oh, I want to. They make you feel like you don't know anything because you've been tricked by the white man so bad that you're so dumb and you don't know anything. And they also make it seem like they're the only ones who could read out of a history book to find out the history of America. They count on you not reading books so that they can present themselves as these knowledgeable type of people who memorize scripture and memorize history books and memorize other facts and statistics that you can easily search on your own. So they count on you not to do your homework so that they can be the brain for you. And then you thinking they have this, oh my gosh, they are so chosen by God. They have all the answers. They have the answers to everything that I was looking for, everything I was hoping for, everything I was searching for in God and in the Bible that I didn't know before. So that's how they present themselves. They have memorized a lot from books. They have a lot of books outside the Bible, but they'll tell you to focus on the Bible and read the Bible. So it appears that they have more knowledge than you. Okay. So that's typically how that goes. Now, their 12 tribes chart has changed. Their 12 tribes chart has changed. On the left, this is the old 12 tribes chart. And as you can see, they have their target audience, the people who they are targeting on the streets. They put them right here in plain sight. So they target Blacks, West Indian Blacks, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Guatemalans, or Panamanians. They target Native American Indians, Seminole Indians. What is this? Colombia I think that's Uruguay, Mexicans, and Argentinians. This is who they target. So their target audience is right there. So these are the communities that they will be in. They will be in the hood. They will be in the ghettos. Like I said, they have these different so-called camps and schools popping up everywhere now because they choose somebody. If they don't have a school, a so-called school established, what they do is they will choose a male who have a home or who have enough money to open up a small, pretty much a business, to rent out a business space to start a school there or to start a congregation there. So usually they'll start outside of their house, outside of their homes, or in the basement, in the living room, and they will start like that, start recruiting people on the streets and then telling them, oh, you can congregate with us. You're welcome to congregate with us to learn the Bible and to learn who you really are. And then that's how they'll basically get you to congregate with them. If they don't have a school, it's usually at somebody's house. All right. So again, target audience, they group these 12 charts into Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. A lot has changed. As you can see, the colors changed. This one is a scroll. This looks more like a flyer. The background images were changed. The font's different. Things are in color. Okay. It's just a lot going on this one, right? They have their logo there. They have the target audience in quotations, I guess, to say that that's not who they really are, right? And then they also have Bible scriptures, which is in tiny print. You can't really see it, but they have Bible scriptures listed around, or Bible references, I should say. And then they also have the version Bible, the Bible version that they use, King James Version. So they have all that on the new 12 tribes chart. All right. So let's continue. Now, IUIC, they do promote Fatphobia. It's a lot of men in there who have said some nasty things about women who may be overweight, men who may be overweight. It's a lot of discrimination against certain body types. They associate greed with body types that they consider unattractive. They reinforce negative stereotypes and rhetoric about non-skinny individuals. They're very insensitive to health conditions that could possibly be why someone may be gaining weight. They are insensitive to weight gain during pregnancy. They expect you to still have the shape that you had before you were pregnant. They expect you to snap back if you are a woman and you had a baby. They expect you to hurry up and snap back so that they can use your body in a way that pleases them. All right. So this is common in IUIC. It's a lot of jokes when it comes to bigger people, especially bigger women. A lot of jokes, and they are offensive, and they expect you to not be offended by their offensiveness. They say you're too soft if you're offended when they are intentionally offending you. They say you're too soft. If you don't laugh at their jokes, if you don't humiliate yourself, degrade yourself with their dark humor, you're too soft, you're too sensitive. If you're a man, they will call out your masculinity and say that you're too feminine. They associate emotions with femininity. So then, therefore, the men do not show emotions, which are unhealthy because everybody is human and everyone have emotions. But they want the men to act like they're so like macho and never cry and never never have any type of emotions and this and that. So they basically promote toxic masculinity, and they have a warped way of thinking when it comes to what's masculine and what's feminine. All right. So let's continue. Now, again, throughout the book, additional images have been added, other images have been removed. Ithan, the one I mentioned before, his wife was removed from the section that says laws for women and replaced with Nathaniel's wife, who they call Mother Shamara. She is in the New York congregation. She's a part of the New York Headquarters leadership wives. So you will see her in a lot of the doctrine pertaining to women and children. She's there everywhere, right? They smack themselves everywhere because a lot of them are narcissists. Nathaniel is a narcissist, in my opinion, and so is his wife. And a lot of the leaders are as well. I encourage you to look up what narcissism is and what it means, and don't just take my word for it, but do your own research. All right. Now, again, Nathaniel's wife is added smack dab in the middle of that page where Ithan's wife was removed. They have, this is the leadership wives in New York. As you can see, one of the leadership wives have on some, look like stripper stilettos to me. And it's interesting because they always talk about women in the world. Well, women in the world wear these type of shoes. So-called women who they consider immodest wear these type of shoes. Like this looks like about a 5-inch platform heel, and she's wearing that in the congregation, right? So again, like I said in my other video, leadership wives and leadership, the males in the leadership can do what they want. It's only everybody else who have to listen to and obey what they say, obey orders, as they say. But they can do whatever they want. They can wear these long nails, right? These long old nails that was probably done in a shop who's not on the 12 tribes chart by maybe Koreans or Asians, right? But they have all this stuff to say that's anti-Korean, anti-Asian, anti-Chinese, anti-other nations, but you go to these other people and you have your fake nails and you have your stiletto shoes. But you got the nerve to talk about women who are not in the group, talk about their nails and hair and shoes and how they talk and how they walk and how they do this. These women want to be like those women and they imitate those women, right? What's modest about these long, bright nails? What's modest about stiletto shoes? Again, hypocrites. Now, on one of the pages as well for the laws for women, they removed the language, do not dress like a whore. I reviewed that in my previous video, so please go check that out. I will link it under this video if you don't know what video I'm talking about. But in the original Welcome Home pack, they had the word, the verbiage, do not dress like a whore in order to promote modesty. Okay. When it comes to the men and how they dress, they now have, first they have men with sagging pants, black men with their pants sagging, right? Because I guess they're the only ones who sag their pants and stuff like that. So basically, this is targeted towards black people mostly, but they just include everybody else because that will make the congregation and the organization bigger and make it seem like they're a little bit inclusive when really they are focused mainly on black people. They started off with just black people and then slowly they started to add other races inside of the group. Allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly. So for the men, they will have these men who have excessive jewelry on because there's a lot of men in there and a lot of women in there. They're materialistic. They want to dress better than you. They want to flaunt whatever money they may have. They want to dress like rappers, but say that they are prophets and they are men of God. But really, you see them in there is no different from a rap video. They do music in there. They have idols that they worship in there, which are the men who rap. They will rap the doctrine of IUIC, just like Christian rap. They have their own rap about IUIC's doctrine. So it's really no different. This is what I was talking about when I said that they use this scripture in Numbers to say you need to wear a border of blue and fringes. Now, this may vary from different Black Hebrew Israelite camps, and it may look different, but they only use it on their shirts. So if we were supposed to be following the old law and it said that all your clothing had to be have a border of blue and fringes, that would mean your pants as well and everything that you have on. But again, they are selective when it comes to following their so-called laws. They're selective when it comes to what's modest and what's not modest. They're selective when it comes to cherry picking certain scriptures that fit their agenda and fit their narrative and push their organization. They're very selective, which is basically manipulation of the scriptures in order to fulfill a bigger agenda, which is usually a financial agenda. They make a lot of money from members, lots of donations. In fact, they sell the so-called Sabbath garment they want you to buy. They say it's optional. Don't believe that. You will see that most of the women and most of the young women and girls in there, they have to buy what's called a Sabbath garment, that purple and gold garment. they're selling that for $75 on their website. So almost $100 for these garments. But there's a scripture that says to not be in costly array, or not to wear expensive clothing, not to try to have gold, be adorned with gold and all this. Again, they cherry pick when and where they want to use certain scriptures and who, depending on who you are in the organization. Mm-mm-mm. You said we have them here. They are slowly setting up shop. Yes, so you may see them in your neighborhood. You may have seen them if you are in any parts of New York or California, if you are in any metropolitan area where it's heavily populated, you may have seen them before. They're popping up in rural places, right? They're popping up in places you wouldn't expect because they are recruiting new members. So you are going to see that. So that's pretty much my presentation for y'all. All right. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. And if you have any questions for me again, make sure you email me at charismaspeakstruth@gmail.com. And I will be sure to go ahead and read your email and get back to you as soon as possible. If you have any questions, if you want to share your story, if you want to know more about this group, then please email me. You will see the actual email at the bottom of the screen, on the ticker that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Email me there, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So with that being said, I hope y'all learned something. Please be informed of this group. Watch out for this group. If somebody at work try to get you to go to one of these classes, be careful. If somebody, one of your family members or a loved one, try to say, oh, did you know we are the Hebrews? Did you know this? Be very careful, okay? This is a warning. People are going to do what they do. All right. And that's going to be your own choice. And whatever happens after that, that will be your own choice. So I'm just here to inform, to tell my experiences, and to help those who want to be helped. All right. So I am going to enjoy the rest of my day. And I hope you all do the same. Have a blessed week. Be good. Be positive. And I will see you on my next video and podcast. Shout out to my genuine supporters and members of this channel. Appreciate y'all. God bless. I'm out. Peace.